Hi, welcome back to Positivity Keys podcast. In today's episode, we are going to explore the strategies for personal growth, success, and living your best life. I'm your host, Laura Allen, and today's episode is all about the small wins in achieving big things. If you've ever set a big goal and you felt super overwhelmed by the journey ahead, this episode is for you. Achieving big things often feels like climbing a massive mountain. The peak seems so far off and the path can be daunting. But what if I told you that the key to reaching that peak is focusing on the small wins along the way? Let's dive into why celebrating these small victories is a crucial part of your success and how you can harness their power to achieve your biggest goals. First, let's talk about what small wins actually are. Small wins are those minor achievements and the progressions that might not even seem significant to your end goal, but they contribute to your overall success. Think of them as stepping stones on your path to a larger goal. By acknowledging and celebrating these small victories, you can create a boost in your motivation that helps keep you on track. For example, let's say your biggest goal is to write a book. The end goal is huge, and it can be easy to get discouraged if you only focus on the final manuscript. But what if you celebrated each chapter completed, each page that you wrote, or even each time that you sat down to write as a small win? By recognizing these smaller milestones, you build momentum and you keep the energy high. So, how do you identify and celebrate the small wins? Here's some practical strategies that you can use. So, start by breaking down your big goal into smaller, manageable tasks. If your goal is to launch a new business, your small wins might be completing your business plan, or setting up your website, or getting your first client. You're going to use a journal, a digital tool, or pen and paper, and write down so that you can track your progress. Documenting your achievements, no matter how small they are, helps you stay aware of your advancements and you're maintaining your motivation. Celebrate your achievements in ways that are meaningful to you. It could be a small treat, a day off, or sharing your success with your friends and your family. Celebrating reinforces positive behavior and it keeps you motivated. Take time to reflect on your progress and adjust your plans as needed. Reflecting helps you appreciate just how far you've come and recalibrate your strategies for continued success. Remember, each small win builds confidence and it reinforces your belief in your ability to achieve your big goals. The journey might be long, but for every actionable step that you take forward, it's progress worth celebrating. It's in these small moments that we focus on our action with the action key in our 7 Positivity Keys system. So let's talk about my personal story. When I was working on the 9-week program called Elevate Your Life, the Positivity Keys to Transform Your Future, I found myself super overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. I never built a course before. I never put all the things that are going on inside my brain into something so massive that it's going to actually shake the world of the others around me. There were so many things that I had to do. I didn't even know where to start. And when I got these feelings, this is when I start really, like, my stomach kind of shakes and I feel, oh, gross. This is going to be so much bigger than me. And that's a trigger that hits me. And I've heard that tune before. So I asked myself, why is this making you freak out? What do you need to do to slow it down a minute? What's going to happen if you make a mistake? The answers to those questions for me are usually stemming back to self-doubt, wondering if other people what they're going to think about me, having a fear of failure, self-sabotage. I mean, I could just keep on going. But after I get those realizations, that's when I refocus and I start over and I ask, I start focusing on the smaller milestones, like completing each phase of the project, or achieving specific weekly targets. So I make an outline of the whole project, and that allows me to see the smaller pieces. This doesn't mean that I go back and I, don't stop revisiting the big picture every couple of weeks to make sure that I'm truly on the right path and that I'm headed in the direction that I need to go toward my goal. But when I only get to picture that week, and then I narrow that down to what projects are going to happen in order to make that week, and so on and so forth. And then seriously, by celebrating those little tiny wins when I see progress, I keep myself motivated, high, and I eventually reach my goal. I try really hard not to get hung up on things that, and progress that aren't going exactly how I wish they were, because in the end, I know it's all going to come together. I have that faith. You have to give yourself the ability to have that faith. And even if it doesn't come together in my time, or things might shift into something else, I just keep going forward, staying present in my moments and smiling and laughing at things that don't go my way. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes I wish I had a recording on myself so I could share with other people just how hilarious I am at laughing at myself when things aren't really going my way and they're making me crazy. I am cracking up over here, and I use laughter, and then I just shake it off and I get right back to whatever it is that I need to focus on, and that's how I roll forward. I keep it in the back of my mind, my why. Why am I doing this? Why is it important? How's it going to be for others who get the information that I'm giving, and how the change is going to affect their life, and how much goodness that I can put out. Well, I'm just going to slow it down there. As we wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to identify a big goal that you're working towards and start tracking your small wins, breaking them down into goals that are manageable tasks, celebrating each achievement, and using those victories to fuel your journey. If you've enjoyed today's episode and found it helpful, please consider subscribing to the Positivity Keys podcast. Leave us a review. Those things are so ridiculously important. Your feedback helps us create content that supports you in achieving your goals. If you need more information about what we've discussed today, please feel free to check out our social media along with our website at positivitykeys.com. There you're going to find all the information regarding our new products, our newly launched 9-week program, and the one that I touched on in this episode. And thank you. Thank you for tuning into this podcast today. I'm Laura Allen. I look forward to having you join me on the next episode. Until then, keep celebrating the small wins and moving forward toward your big dreams.